Okay, hi guys. I'm super excited to have you today in our channel, and today I have something very exciting also, and it's a walkthrough through the Microsoft Dynamics Contact Center Admin Center. So the Microsoft Contact Center Admin Center is where you do all your configurations, right, for your contact center, from how items will be flowing through contact center agents down to you creating queues, work streams, and the productivity panels, right? The whole stuff that deal with what's the contact center agents will be using. So all those configurations you make them on the contact center admin center. So I'll just be walking us through what are the things that are available there and how you could go about that, right? So let's hit the ground running. So by default, right, the first item here is the home page. That just gives you a quick overview of access of things you could get and do, right? So we have, you can create a contact center here from scratch. So this creates a contact center. What it does is provisions maybe a demo work stream, a demo queue, and for you to be able to now work on testing out, right, the contact center features and capabilities. So also in the homepage, we have the CRM connection wizard, right? We also have the setup for your conversation widget, which is the chat live chat, as the case may be. You could learn more about that by just clicking on the learn more. So we have the setup co-pilots. This one also is the co-pilot agent, which is like your bot. You could also have errors that are spinning out from your contact center configurations, warnings, and then suggestions. You could also run health check to see what's actually happening in your contact center that have been provisioned. Also, at this panel here, we have some quick admin access. So below that, we have the search option. So this is where you could do quick search. So let's say you're trying to perform something and you really don't know where to quickly go to. You could do a search here. Let's say I come here and search something like, let's say, accounts, right? So you could see it has opened up channels and managing accounts for me. So from here directly, it can lead me to those places. So what this account means, let's say you're configuring SMS configuration and you need an SMS account, or you're configuring maybe, let's say, Facebook integration and you need a Facebook account to do the app configuration. So all those things you could come here and set or and do the quick search and it will give you. Then we have the guided channel setup, right? So if you want to create a guided channel setup, you could just use this to create the guided channel setup. Then now I will now move to the getting off from the get started. So the get started section is where helps you to kick start, right? Maybe you want to perform an operation or you want to check how the system is, what are the functionalities are available. So the get started section helps you to cover that. Then the next is the customer support section, right? Where we now have its overview. So this one gives you a quick overview of different configurations that have been done on the customer support, which entails your user management, things like your number of users. And as you can see for this my demo environment, you have like 170 users set up. So these are just demo users. Then skills. So if there are skill sets you've set up on the system, you could see how many of them. And the fun thing is from here, when you click from here, it can take you directly to where those skill sets are, right? So it's super easy to use, right? And it's gives a quick direction. Also, if you have capacity profile set up, you can click from here and voila, it takes you directly to where those capacity profiles are. You could check and have them edited. Then the next is now our different channels. So this one speaks to the different channels we have. We have the record, which is item records in CRM that you're routing. It could be case, it could be emails, it could be phone call records, it could be leads, it could be opportunity records. So whatever entity-based records that you're routing, those ones are all classified under record. Then we have the chats, right? Which is your live chat, as the case may be. You also have your messaging. So let's say you make your channels from like WhatsApp, your SMS, all those fall under messaging. Um, and the whole you see the whole list of channels we have available. Then the voice is your voice integration. Let's say you provision phone numbers through your Azure communications. All those will be set up here, and you could click on this view all to see everything under channels. If you click on view all here, it opens everything under channels for you. And the next is now your queues. The different kind of queues we have. We have the advanced and the basic. So for this system now, you can see that we've provisioned 11 advanced queues, and we've provisioned we have like 152 basic queues. And when you click here, you could see all that. Then your routing. So what are the routing configurations you've made? You could see them directly from here. So your record routing, what are the options? What are the things you've already set? So all these are cumulative from what you are doing in things like your work stream, right? In your work stream, you set some routing configuration, some routing rule sets, and routing diagnostics also speaks to you monitoring routings. So when customers do things like, let's say on the case side of things, right? Customer service, they do save and route, right? When they route those items, the different conditions that are being met before it hands it over to the right team or the right person. So you could see all that in the right routing diagnostics. So basic routing rule sets. So what are the rule sets that you've set on the system? You could also see that here. Then also we have the work stream, which is one of the powerful part of this. So work stream is like your collectors, right? It congregates things, then begin to channel them where they're supposed to go to. That's like putting them into the different queues. So we have that. So you have different type of work streams. You might have a record-based work stream. So what that work stream collects is just record-based. So it's records that come into that work stream. Then you have like the chat work stream. You have also the messaging, just as their title signifies. That's the thing they collect into those specific work stream. Then you now have also the customer settings where you have the geolocation. Geolocation is picking the location in which customers are interacting from, right? Then your outbound, so calls that are being made, or outbound profiles that are set up and tied to a specific phone number. So maybe you do your integration with Azure Communication, set some outbound profiles, all that will be stationed here. Then you have automated messages. So messages templates that you've created, all those are found under here. So, but if you want to now go granularly into each of all these things, you now have them below here. You have the user management. So the first one is where you manage your users who can access your Dynamics 365. So when you click on this, it opens up your list of users for you, in which you could be able to manage each of them, maybe change user profiles the way as needed, or what about operation you want to perform for those specific users. So the next is enhance user management. So in this case now, let's say you want to manage people's skills and capacity profile, but you want to do that in bulk, right? For much users, that's what you can do basically here, right? So let me show you how you could do that in bulk. So when you click on manage here, so let's say you can also switch to all users as the case may be, but let's say you have multiple users and you want to change all those users queues at the same time. I could just click on, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, then hover on this update user attributes, click on this, and you could see you could either update their skills at once, or update their queues as one, or update their capacity profile. Let's say I select queue, then now I come here and just select the queue I want. I could add all those people to that queue. Let me just say I add them to default messaging, and I could click on add to all, or I could remove all at the same time. Then I could just click on save, and bam, instead of doing it one by one by one by one, that's what this one helps you to do. And as you can see, all of them now have that queue. So that's basically what the enhanced user management helps you to cover. Then the next is the skill base. For the skill base, it helps you to manage skill sets, right? That users will have. So let's say there are some persons that are very good at specific things in your organizations. Maybe some agents are good in certain aspect and another. You could create skills in that regard based on what they support, and you could now tag people how their skill sets are on that skill. This helps in more of support engineers, right? That needs to attend to people and their level of expertise are different in and knowledge in specific areas. So with this, you could help to classify the case or classify the complaints when they come, so that you can now use your conditional routing to now know who to give it to in the team. But this is basically where you manage your skill. You could click on new to create additional skill, right? And passing the information. You could check my videos on work streams and skill creation to get more details on that. Then I'll go back here, just discard this. Then we have the skill hub, yeah, where you manage the skill proficiency. So after creating the skill, where you do the scaling of the skill proficiency and this intelligence finder is where you come here. Then the bigger one is now capacity profile. Capacity profile is like a weight being attached to persons, right? What is the capacity of what they can take in a day, number of items that should get to them, or and based on the weight of what those items are. So when you set that up is here, you click on manage, you can see the different capacities are here. Then you can create new capacity and put how the reset frequency is going to be. Then when you create users or you sync user into your dynamic CRM, you can then now um, add them to those capacity profile to them, right? So now let's go back to our user management, and the last is role personnel mapping. So role personnel mapping and security role. So the routing that you have configured, that's what role personnel mapping actually covers. And basically, the role personnel mapping has a relationship with security roles on the system. You could also check my videos on security role configuration to know more about security role. But what you basically just need to do here is that you have three personnel, right? You either an admin, an advisor, supervisor, or a representative. And based on this, you could see what the security role that are assigned to people that are classified under um, role personnel that will be serving as admin, who roles that if assigned, this person will be serving as supervisors in CRM, in the contact centers, and security roles are if they are assigned what the agents will be seen as under their personnel for the contact center. But we just have three. It's either an admin, supervisor, or representative, and it's based on these security roles that are assigned. You could also increase this broad range, just like I showed you just now. So that's basically it. Then manage security roles. Then when you have all the security roles in the system, and you could add, remove, or extend it as the case may be. And the next one is the AI agent, which is your chatbot, right? This one gives you a list of all chatbots that you've already tied to this environment. You could click here to add more. You could add existing chatbots, and or you could create a new chatbot. If you click on add existing, it's pull out all the chatbots on your environment copilot studio, and you could then select and connect to it. When you connect to it, it's going to drop here. Then you can use it in your work streams, as the case may be. But this gives you a details about each of the chatbots, and it tells you who is the owner, and is it a voice chatbot, and what is its chat status? Is it connected to or not? That's to this environment, to this is Stripe environment. So the next are channels, right? So channels are where you manage the different pathways in which you'll be receiving issues from, right? You have the top is where you manage your channels. When you click on manage here, you let's just give it some time to load. Yeah. So if this has not been configured already, right? So normally you select the channels you want, right? Some persons might just want only voice. Some might want both chat, social media, SMS, and Teams, as the case may be. But this way you provision to select what you want. I'm actually using a trial environment. That's why you could see everything is selected. So when I go back to channels, you could work on the consult and transfer. So if you watch my video on chatbots where and handover to agents, where I explained the whole communication interface, you could see the consultation and transfer. And this is basically where you manage all that. So uh, can is consultation and transfer available? You need to either enable it or disable it as transfer to a representative, so they can transfer communication as they come from one person to another. Then the different channels that we now have, you have the record, like I explained earlier on. So this one is for record items. When you click on it, you can see the tables in CRM, right? That this routing for records covers. You can see the case and voicemail. You could add more when you click on this, and you could now select which record type you want to add, right? So you can see a lot of record types that you could add to the workstream, so that it will be among things you could call on your workstream and do some checks against to sync them in when people save and push them into the whole pool thereabouts, right? So that's basically the record routing. They also have the charts. So if you click on manage here, so for the chart now you have the different charts that are already on the system. You could add more chart channels, right? As the case may be, and define what you actually want to do. For charts, you can also watch my videos on how you could provision live charts uh, and how it's been routed to individuals. So that's for it. Then other ones you have is the web engagement, messaging, which is your SMS, and social media, Facebook, and all that. You could check my video on Facebook integration. You could check my other video also on integration with WhatsApp using Twilio, also integration with SMS using Twilio. So all those fall under messaging. Also, you could check my video on IVR bot configuration. You see the use of voice there, right? Where you make phone calls. Those phone calls are routed to agents and they pick. So we also have the voice updates accordingly. Then you have the messaging accounts. So these messaging accounts are accounts that you create that will hold the core integration details for the work stream that you provision that messaging platform. So as you can see, this one, you have the Twilio, SMS, WhatsApp. So every account, Facebook, all them, you need to set them up here. Follow their step-by-step guide for the integration. And when this account is now set up, that's when you can create that channel completely on the workstream end, which I will show us also when we get to workstream. Then down is now phone numbers. You could click here to see phone numbers that are being used on your environment. You could add more, buy more phone numbers as the case may be. Clicking on new number here, you could provision if Microsoft lines are available on your end, or you could also use the SBS connector through Azure Communications to be able to get your integrations with maybe your third-party solution that you want your calls to get in through here, or you use your CTI directly. So that's basically it for channels. We also have intent, but I'll not be running through this because it's not available currently on here for free trial. Then the next is queue. Queues are like buckets, right, in which you cluster users together. Then things can now be sent to them when they come into a work stream. So we have the advanced queue. The advanced queue is a queues where you can now have your routing style configured for them, right? And you could create new queues here. You select the type of queue you want to create. So for each type of channel, you need to create a queue specifically for that channel. So we have the messaging, the record, and the voice. So then you put your priorities, give it a name. Then when the queue is created, you need to now add users to that queue, right? For instance, if you click on this, you see the point of adding users, right? So you could just click on the add user at the top here. Then you can find the person you want to add. Then if you want to also remove users, click on see more here. Select for that user, the user you want to remove, just click on the delete button and that person will be out. Then we have the advanced assignment method. So how is it going to be given? Will it be using the round robin? Will you be using the highest capacity? So based on how you want, you could check my videos for more details on that. Then handling overflowing. So when maybe it's outside your working hours and you set operational hours on your queue, so how does it handle those overflow, things like that? Or if the queue is exhausted or people's capacity are exhausted, how does it handle such overflow. So that's basically what you have here. So that's just basically a run through for the queue. Then for the routing is where you also get your to see your unified routing operations, the intelligent sentiment based routing. So if all those things are set up and you could check them out, this is where you come to actually check out what's actually happening in regards to your routing. You could click on routing diagnostics to be able to see operations that are going on. So as you can see now, let's say I select this, it will show you the step by step it's went through before it picked who it assigned that specific task to. So that's basically what you have for your routing. Then your work stream, which is like your streamlining uh, path, right? So this is where you now declare how you take things in and the queues you pass them to. So all that are captured in your work stream. So let's just say test here, right? Then you also select the type. It must either be a messaging, record, or voice. If I select messaging, we have a long list of channels you could collect from. There's Apple Message for business, there's chats, there's custom. So custom is if you want to make integration with places like Twitter that we don't have direct connection with, um, Dynamic CRM already established, you do that. Or other chatting platforms, but you want to bring those chatting platforms to CRM, you use custom where you build use the bot framework to build a bot that interacts with the platform and also send those communications directly to CRM. So you have Facebook, we have Line, Microsoft Teams, SMS, WeChat, and WhatsApp. So these are the channels that actually configure, they're actually covered currently out of the box. So that's basically how you provision your work stream. For more details of that, you can check my video on work stream configuration. Then we have the customer settings. Um, so block numbers, you can find them here, the geolocation, phone music, and a whole list of others. Then you have the outbound profiles. So those ones that you've targeted outbound customers, you could set all that here. This case type, case categories, and subcategories are just custom entity I added to this contact center just for another demo. So you will usually not see this in the out of the box configuration. Then you now have the support experience. So for the support experience too, we have things like the profile people see when they go to the workspace. So let me show you what the workspace looks like. Let me not leave here. Let me duplicate this. So like when you watch my videos on handshakes from bots to agents, right? The interface that comes out, how it comes out, all those things are captured in your things like session templates, application tabs, templates, and the experience. So you have productivity, so quick replies. So let's say your agent are using chats, right? Some of the quick replies they could do, all those things can be set here under the quick replies. You can see different quick replies. You could add and create more, then your agents can make use of those quick replies. That's what you have for productivity. Then also for your knowledge base, right? This is where you set up the knowledge base for the system, right? You could tie it to your bots, agents, as the case may be. So where information will be coming from, what will be the source of your truth, all that will be covered here in the knowledge base. Then we now have your collaboration end, right? Where will you be embedding things into? Will it be on Teams? And if it's Teams, how people going to be interacting with Teams from there? Then we now have operations. We have insights, yeah, that looks into your historical information. So the historical dashboard, all those the omnichannel historical information. So history of uh customers requests, customers chat, all that are captured here. Then you now have to configure your calendar, right? Your operating hours, if you be having holidays, your customer service calendar. So all that you do them here. So that's basically a run through of the contact center admin center that gives you the holistic tool at the end where you could configure and make your contact center very robust for your own operation and tailored specifically for you. So thank you very much for your time and see you in our next video.